I liked my days. I didn't want to work nights. And somewhere along the line, I got the fucking balls after a year to go up there on stage. Now, when I got on that stage, when I got off that stage, yes, I saw a little hope in my life, but I didn't see a hope by telling you people that as soon as I got on stage, I went home and I was like, I'm going to be a fucking TV star. I'm going to be a movie star. It wasn't that type of hope. I saw hope for me to stop living the life I was living, to maybe get a little bit more control, pay some bills, get an apartment sometime in your life. I wasn't going to get remarried. I wasn't going to do any of this shit. I was going to live like Charles Bronson. The last thing on my fucking mind during those days, from year 1 to year 5 of comedy to year 10 of comedy, I did not see any hope for success. Honesty. I mean, I could be honest. What do you mean by that, Joey? I didn't see any glimmer of hope for me to ever make it as a stand-up comic. I was very insecure about who I was. I was very insecure about the lifestyle I had lived as a young man. I was a criminal. I got locked up. I'm a junkie. And now I want to give I want to give comedy a try. What makes you think you could make it in the comedy game? And that's exactly how I thought. I thought I could just get on triple runs for the rest of my life. There was no movie career. There was no commercial career. I just knew that I had a career as a road comic. That's it. There was not going to be an HBO special. There was not going to be a Letterman appearance. None of that shit was going to be possible in my life. And yeah, I was a little negative, but I was just trying to be honest with myself. As honest as I could fucking be. I'm a piece of shit. I come from nothing. I come from North Bergen, New Jersey. Name the last fucking comedian, a Hollywood star, musician to come out of North Bergen. You know, what were my fucking chances? So, but somehow I ended up in LA, and I ended up at the Comedy Store, and still there was no hope of me being Dave Chappelle or Kevin Hart and doing movies with The Rock. I just wanted to be a funny fucking stand-up comic and earn my steak at the table. Earn my steak at the table. That's all I wanted. Well, things happened and we ended up here. If you guys, if you motherfuckers think that for 1 minute I thought I was going to do anything good with comedy, believe that. But if you motherfuckers think that I thought I would ever get off drugs, that was never going to happen. I made a conscious decision in maybe 95 that I'm not going to go back and forth with this. This is the way to lose your fucking mind. I'm going to get clean after this. I'm never going to snort coke. I'm never going to drink again. Hey, listen, just telling yourself that lie back and forth, that's enough to drive you fucking crazy. And I was okay with it. I said, you know what? Listen, what's all this bullshit? What's all this beating myself up? I'm not going to go to a fucking meeting. I'm not going to get clean. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to put this restriction on myself to say to myself, okay, I'm not going to do coke this week on the road. By night 6, you're disappointed. You meet a blonde, you know, she wants to do coke. There you are. I mean, come on. Come on. It was not going to end for me, so I never saw it coming. Never in my wildest life did I see cocaine coming to an end. I didn't see me dying from it. Not yet, because I was a fucking junkie and I'm an addict, but I didn't see myself ever stopping, ever wanting to stop. Once I met Terry, there were little fucking things that I was like, I got to take care of this before it hits home, before she knows, before I get a DUI, before I get arrested at an airport. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want it to be a total shock to her. So I did sign up for some like Hollywood run rehabs, you know, and I would give them a fake name, and then 3 days later somebody would go, hey, I saw you at the Comedy Store 2 weeks ago. They didn't know Joey Diaz. They didn't know anything like that. They would just say, hey, look. And then after I did The Longest Yard, forget about going to those fucking rehabs and those meetings and shit. But I did go to a few meetings just to see what they were about. But I went in Hollywood, and I was like, oh, people getting AA tattoos. And I think the first meeting I went to in Hollywood, some lady got up and she's like, I came to a meeting last week and somebody groped me. And I looked at her. Nobody would ever even dream of groping her. But that was her beef for the day, that somebody groped her. So I didn't go back to a meeting in L.A. I went to a meeting when I shot the movie Boiler Room. I figured out I'd go up, and it's so fucking weird. I figured up and go up and see where they did this. The movie Boiler Room is about a AA meeting that got crashed by a bank robbery. 2 bank robbers were hiding from the cops, and they went into this AA meeting, and they took it hostage. And this really happened. And this particular meeting, in wherever it's held, in Burbank, or I forget where it was held, guys, Studio City or one of those, this particular meeting is the big Monday night meeting for the Valley. That's where all the stars go. A lot of fucking people go up there. So when I got this movie, when I did the table read, and they said that the movie was going to get shot in like 90 days, I decided on my own to just go up there on a meeting one day. I recognized some of the people there. There was some comedians there that I don't need to discuss their names because obviously they're friends at John's and they take it seriously. But it was a great feeling. I went, I watched, but still knew sobriety was not for me. And, maybe a year and a half later, I got the call to do fucking whatever movie, whatever it was called. And they told me that the movie, because I did the table read for this movie, and I can't remember what the fuck was Boilermaker. Was it Boilermaker? Yeah. Because Boiler Room is the one about fucking Giannato Ribisi calling people and going to jail and shit. Boilermaker's about, so I probably got the read, I probably read the table read from the guy. The reason why I wanted to do Boilermaker was because it had the guy from The Fighter in it. Way before The Fighter. He was just working he was a fireman in the fucking show with Dennis Leary. But I loved him. He was a good guy. I saw him in Lethal Weapon 2. He's been around forever. So when I saw him at the table read, I was like, okay, I want to do this movie. The movie was paying it before it got cast, but once they cast it and they called me a year later, the movie paid $100 a fucking day. And I was like, fuck, do I even want to do this movie? So I went over they said, you don't even have to read. Just go meet with the new producers. I went up to, I guess I had to meet with them in the Valley one day somewhere, and I walked in. It was a great read, and they fucking went over the script with me, and they said, listen, I don't know if you know this. This is a low-budget production, so we're shooting 3 weeks of 12-hour days. We're going to start shooting on November 8th and whatever. It ends around Thanksgiving. And I was like, okay, I'm in. They're like, we got to talk to you about one more thing. And I'm like, what? And they're like, we'd like to speak to you about your substance abuse fucking problem. And I'm like, what? And they're like, we really want to talk to you about your substance abuse problem. I'm like, okay, hit me. And they go, because the movie is getting shot in 3 weeks and everybody's in the shoot, you cannot miss a day. In fact, you can't even miss an hour. We're going to shoot this, long days, fast, but if you miss a day, you fuck the whole production up. So we don't want you to give us an answer on this film right now. Call us tomorrow. Let us think about it. Let us know what you want to do. And this conversation will stay here. I was a little agitated at that conversation. When I walked out, they paid me $100 a day, and they're trying to go into my fucking private life. There was just like a little fucking thing stopping me from going in there. This all happened, all this happened at the same fucking time. I'll never forget getting in my car and going, fuck these bitches. I'm not doing this fucking movie. Talk to me like that. That's the mind of a junkie talking. By the time I got home, I'm like, you know what? They got a point. They're making a huge investment. And I I get it. So I got a decision whether I could stay off cocaine, because it was 21 days, whether I could stay off cocaine or whether I can't do this movie. And all of a sudden, some things happened, the cat, me, boom, bam. I took the movie. And I took the movie because it was long days, and it wouldn't give my mind a chance to think about cocaine. When I did, I was on the set. And I got to be honest with you. I got on that set. I completed my 21 days. I did the fucking movie. I did the best job I could. There was one beef on the movie. One day I went there on a Sunday and there was no food. So I told him I was going home because you have to have food. We pay union prices. But besides that, everything worked out and the movie was great. But at the end of that movie, I realized that I was sober for 22 fucking days. And I was like, holy shit. It's time to go get a fucking huge 8-ball. Like an 8. It's time to go get an 8-ball with all the motherfucking trimmings. And I got to tell you something. I said, why? I've already done this for 22 days. Why would I want to fucking go back and do coke? And that was 15 years ago. Tomorrow, guys. 15 years ago. I clocked it at the 15th. We finished the movie like the day before Thanksgiving, because that was our first day off, was Thanksgiving. We went straight for 3 fucking weeks. So whatever that movie started, I didn't look at the calendar, and that was 15 years ago this week, guys, when I decided to make that decision. So if you motherfuckers think I never had a chance at fucking doing anything in the stand-up comedy community or in the film community, where the fuck do you guys think I was at with drugs and doing cocaine when I was doing coke 5-6 nights a week? The reason I tell you this story is because the holidays are coming. A lot of years of living with this shit in your life. Not that I'm here to judge it. I don't give a Frenchman's fuck. I feel myself a quitter for quitting. You know what I'm saying? You guys are keeping the party alive. But I got to be honest with you. If I tell you all the good things that came my way in these 15 years compared to my first, 45 fucking years, because I was 44 when I quit cocaine, because John Gotti took over the Gambinos at 45, and I had to take control of my fucking life. So I wanted to be clean by the time I was 45. All this shit that I had done, it came to an end 15 years ago this week. And guys, I never, ever, ever thought, ever, that I would get clean. If I never, ever thought I was going to do anything in comedy, what were my chances of getting fucking off cocaine? But through the fucking, I don't know how. So today, this podcast is about 2023's coming. You want to be tip-top motherfucking Magoo, because think about it. I didn't do shit with my life except go to prison, do drugs for 44 fucking years. I could tell you 5 good things I did in those 44 years, but I could tell you 20 good things I did the last 15 years. I'm not telling you that sobriety is going to fucking open up of opportunity of whatever for you. You're going to be hanging out on the beach with Brad Pitt. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you got a chance of doing something, if you clean up from whatever the fuck you're doing, you're giving your life a way better chance. Like I said, I did more in 15 fucking years than I did in 44 fucking years. That's the joint on Monday, the 14th of the fucking month. That's it, and that's that. I love you cocksuckers with all my heart. Stay black, and I'll see you Thursday morning, Tip Top Magoo. And now for a word from our motherfucking sponsors.